Good afternoon. Hi. I'd like to welcome you to Schenectady Light Opera Company, a place for great musical theater right here in downtown Schenectady. And I'd like to be your tour guide today to show you all around our campus, show you a little bit about what's new, and just if you've never been here, I'd like to even just get you kind of familiar with where we're located so it would be easy for you to find us when future shows are going on that you're really interested in seeing. First of all, we are located on a campus that used to be St. John the Baptist Church. If you are from the Schenectady area, that is the campus that we're on, and it's several buildings, and we're situated between, this is Liberty Street, and our front side is Franklin Street, so we're tucked between those two streets. Most people who come to Schenectady know Union Street and State Street. Union Street is one more block in that direction away from us, and Schenectady, or State Street, I'm sorry, where Proctor's is one street, one block in front of our campus. So I'll talk about that when I get on the front side. But I just wanted to show you, I know coming to a city is sometimes tricky for parking, and so we've got a large parking lot here. There's a parking lot here on the side for events. There is side street parking. There's the post office. It's a great place to come. There's lots of restaurants wrapping right around us, and it's a great place to come to dinner and then come to the show. I'm going to give a shout out to some of the places that have given us donations in the past, like a new restaurant called Daly's on Yates. A block behind that is Malcolm's on Union Street. Another block going that way is Mexican Radio, and I'll show you the entrance to J Street where Ambition and the New Whistling Kettle are. So there's a lot of restaurants, Johnny's also, that are included and are easy to go to. So I'm going to walk us this way. I'm not planning on staying outside too long because often the wind gets on the microphone, and I kind of feel like this is like Ask the Fallons because I'm walking and talking, but I'm not getting asked any questions. But I would like you to comment about where you're watching from, and also just send a thumbs up or a wow face or anything to just let me know that you're there, and we'll be kind of interacting just a little bit as we go along. So now I want to tell you who I am, now that you know what this whole live stream is going to be about. Again, my name's Diane Skabinski, and if you just joined us, I'm here to give you a tour of SLOC, which is what I often call it. It's Schenectady Light Opera Company, and I'm a board member. I've been on the board for about 4 years, and I've also had the honor of being in a couple productions here, and it was actually on my bucket list to be in a musical at some point, and I did one, and now I've done several because it got in my blood, and it's such a great thing to be a part of the creative process, bringing theater, live theater, and bringing it to life, obviously if it's live, but bringing it to life to share with other people. As I mentioned, that's J Street, where that, just beyond that do not enter sign, where the Open Door bookstore is, if you're familiar with that. And this is the Schenectady YMCA. So just on the other side of that is Proctor's. So again, if you're familiar with downtown Schenectady at all, those are some landmarks that help you find our theater. It's here on Franklin Street, which is a very quiet little street. Most people don't know Franklin unless they are Schenectady residents. So I want to share this with you because I feel like this is a gem in downtown Schenectady. And I've lived here for about 38 years, and for the first 28, I really did not know much about this theater, and I was missing out. So I don't want you to miss out. I want you to realize what this has to offer, and to know how to find it, and to know what we're all about. So come on inside. This is the main door, and it goes right into our lobby, where you will find the box office. When you come in, here's our lobby, and right around the corner here is our box office, which we have a little bit of a interesting layout. And usually if you're here and you have any questions, you'll see Jeffrey Hocking, who we call the mayor, and he will help you. He's who you speak to on the phone when you call. You can always call him about season subscriptions, and that is very beneficial to people because then we usually do 5 shows a season. And if you do a subscription, you can get 4 shows for the price. I'm sorry, you can get 5 shows for the price of 4. This here was the brochure for our 93rd season, which is just astounding that this organization has been offering musical theater to the area for 93 years. Yes, Jeffrey Hocking, that is your home right here. So this is an important spot to know about, where the box office is, because that's a resource center. And then I know this is mundane, but right next to this is the restrooms. I often volunteer as house manager and help with ushering, and this is the #1 question I get. So this is the only location for our restrooms here, and there's a handicapped accessible one right across the hall, right where you came in the main door. So this is our lobby. And I just want to mention there's a room on the side here where some patrons can come before shows. It's also a space we can rent out to small groups. We have, I think, a church group who rents here, and we do have space. We're able to rent out our facilities for special celebrations, for recitals, vocal recitals. So anything like that, you can always look up for information on our website, which is SLOC.org, SLOC.org. So I wanted to draw to your attention something new, because today I do want to share some new things with you. We do now, for the first year this year, have assisted listening devices available. So if you come here and you need to have the sound level boosted for your hearing enjoyment, you can talk to whoever's in the box office, which most likely will be Jeffrey, and you can sign out one of our, I think, 10 or 12 listening devices. So let me take you here. So the lobby has a connector hallway right here that takes us down into the theater. I don't know if I said that wrong, sloctheater.org. I must have said that wrong. Thank you, Kelly, our current board president, for helping me. Okay, there's a lovely logo picture taking place here, like you're on a red carpet if you come to a show. And this we're going to walk down. Now, I want to talk quite a bit about the history of SLOC, and I want to talk about some of the productions that we've done, because I just want you to understand what we're about. But right now, because I'm standing by it, I want to talk about our most recent production, which was A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. And they did a soft opening, we call it preview night, on March 12th. That night we had to have an emergency board meeting considering what was going on in the world, and we had to shut the show down. And it was heartbreaking. And it was the right decision. Now we know, looking back and what has transpired, but for this cast and this crew production team, they had put so much work into this production. It was phenomenal, and we really hope sometime in the future, we hope and keep our fingers crossed that maybe we still can bring this to audiences. It's just one of those things we just don't know about. But I think it's impressive to notice this. Here we have, I think, a cast of about 16. Several of them, many of them, were new to SLOC. This was their first production at SLOC, and there were some veterans mixed in as well. This is the production team. So I think that's just a really impressive thing to consider, because look at how many people have to do all this creative work, organization, everything else behind the scenes to bring what you see on stage to life. It's really an amazing group effort. And it's really the group effort in the process is something that I really enjoy. And that's what I like most about community theater. I was a newbie to community theater. Thank you, Sarah Paupini, for getting me involved a long time ago, but not that long ago, only about 9 years ago. And I found that people were very open to new people, very inclusive, very welcoming. And so I hope that people who have not ever done this before decide to try it, because it's, once you get over the scary part of audition, it's very worthwhile. Now we're going to walk down here. We're going to go into the theater, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history of SLOC. But before I go in the theater, I wanted to ask people in the comments if they've ever come to a production here at Schenectady Light Opera Company. Could you please just put in your comments like one of your favorite shows that you've seen? Sorry, I should have flipped that around if I'm just standing still and talking. This is the first time I've ever done Facebook Live. So yeah, let me know what productions you've seen. I have seen so many. I've seen almost every production in the last 5 years. And I have to say, I love going to shows at Proctor's. I love going to shows on Broadway. But I equally love coming to shows here at SLOC. And you're going to see right now the different element that this provides. So in this theater, you are very close. Maybe Jeffrey Hocking can remind me what our seating capacity is. I think it's about 250. And this is our stage and our set that was all built and ready to go for Forum. And there's a little bit of some kind of work going on. I think there was probably some adjustment going on with the lighting. I'm going to go up here and sit kind of center. And one of the nice improvements over the last few years is that we have a different riser for each row going up here. So when I first started coming to the theater, there were 2 rows on each riser. So you had a chair in front of you sometimes, but now you have really quite a lovely unobstructed view. And the point, our seating capacity is 258. Thank you, Mr. Hocking. So this is lovely. A lovely, lovely view of a stage. And the fact that you are so close makes it a very intimate experience. You can see all the nuances of eyebrow movements. You can really get connected and feel like you're in the production. It's just really something that, like I said, I enjoy coming here equally to Proctor's and Broadway shows. They all have different elements that they bring that make it enjoyable, but this is like a 10 out of 10 for me in terms of enjoying here. And I cannot even believe the local talent that you'll see here. It is just amazing. So in case you're just joining, I wanted to mention to you again who I am. I'm Diane Skabinski. I'm a board member right now and serving as in a volunteer capacity for Schenectady Light Opera Company. I volunteer and I house manage, and I've been lucky enough to be in a couple of productions because it was a bucket list thing. And if you have it on your bucket list, I think you should think about it. You should definitely give it a try in the future. So I'm seeing some favorite things: Legally Blonde, Into the Woods, Les Mis. We often have a youth production. Every November we try to do a youth production. And that takes area high school students and sometimes a little younger. They're able to come and audition and be a part of a community theater experience. And those shows have been wonderful. Grease. This year we did Mary Poppins. It was unbelievable. A little bit more before I leave this location. Sometimes the pit is up there. So our band would be playing from up on that location. We just had a new shield put in to kind of like tamper down or lessen the drum music. Oh, and before I leave here, I have to tell you, I want to talk to you about the upgrades that we have. One of the things we most recently upgraded was our sound system, and that has been wonderful. A shout out to Matt and Matt for making that happen, as well as Matt Muskelly for helping us with the assisted living device, or assisted listening devices. We have a new sound system overall for the whole theater, and it has made a wonderful difference. We did have a couple spots that, I don't know if it was a dead zone or what it was, but we heard from our patrons that it was a little bit off, so we worked towards improving that, and now we have a new sound system, and we're very, very happy to have that for everyone's enjoyment. We also have a new heating and cooling system that is in the midst. We have the heating system in, and we'll be having our cooling system put in soon. And so that will help us to be able to have summer events and just help us on those extreme hot days in the fall, or when we come in September still in the 80s. All right, so I'm going to take you back here because this is another really important location back here. This is where we have our concession stand and concession area. So during intermission, you can come back here, and Ambition, who is on J Street, comes on over and brings over unbelievably decadent things to buy. Wonderful, delicious treats, beverages, soda, water, coffee. We've got those huge cookies they have, brownies, cupcakes, candy chips, all that kind of stuff at really, really decent prices. So you have time to get those, sit around a little bit. We do use this room for like some cabaret events, but now we're using another room that I'll be showing you later. I'm going to just do a quick run up these stairs. And I had mentioned before, this used to be St. John the Baptist Church, and we've got some beautiful stained glass that is here. And just to give you the bird's eye view, here's our new soundboard. So our sound people are up here, and that's so complicated I really could never explain it. And then our lighting people are way up there, way, way up. They have all sorts of lighting cues that have to be scripted. It's like a choreography as well, with sound and lighting are truly choreographed to go along with the production and highlight things, set mood, set tone. It's amazing. All right, so here's your view. I do like being up a little bit sometimes. I also like being in the chairs that are flat on the floor to be super close. But up here you do get a depth of stage view. So there are pluses to any location. It's really just a personal preference. So again, there's our forum set, and for forum, the pit or the orchestra was going to be behind that beige curtain, which was different. And for the production that was coming up and was in the middle of rehearsing, which was Bright Star, that was, and hopefully is still going to, have a revolving house on the main stage that the band, orchestra, the pit we call them, are in, the rotating house right on stage. So that will be awesome. All right, I'm glad that I see some friends watching. So we're gonna go down quickly. I've seen some people commenting on shows that you have seen here. I'd also like you to put in the comments some shows you would like to see here in the future. So give me some ideas and give our board some ideas. We have a show selection committee that meets and takes show proposals from area directors and then chooses a season, and they've been doing a phenomenal job giving a good balance of traditional ones, newer shows, just a variety. So before I leave the set, we're gonna go backstage so you can take a little peek at that, because that's what audiences never see. Actually, let's go there now. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of SLOC. So what's our best way here? Let's go this way. Back here is stage manager land, and we don't touch the props unless they are your own. And this is the unglamorous part of most theater productions, but it's where we make people glamorous with hair and makeup. When 1776 happened here, oh my goodness, the wigs back here. It was just amazing. A lot of white wigs. And so this is really the dressing room, and it's kind of broken down right now, and I just want to apologize too. We're not like as, I don't know what to say, polished right now, because we just got frozen in time. On March 12th, everything's shut. Our campus shut, everything's shut, and everything is just here. Here's some of the helmets that were for forum. So anyway, this is our backstage area. So these chairs are usually not even used that much for sitting. They're usually used side by side for costume changes. So a lot goes on backstage. Another mirror and makeup hair check area. In another building, we have our main hair and makeup area for getting ready before a show. So, like I said, it's not very glamorous, but it's bigger than it used to be, and it does the trick. It really does the trick. All right, so we're gonna go back out on stage. Let's go like we're coming as a performer. We're coming through backstage for an entrance, and this is how it looks to a performer. And it's a little intimidating until you can learn how to shut that out. Try to learn to shut out the fact that you're in front of a lot of people. But on the other hand, you get an amazing amount of energy from an audience, which makes performing so much fun. I personally really love the rehearsal process. If someone says to me 5, 6, 7, 8, I'm in heaven. I'm like, do it again? Yes, bring it. I want to sing it again. I want to dance it again. I love all that stuff. But there is something that the audience brings that's huge, because it's just a shared experience of all the work you've done. So I do want to talk a little bit about the history of SLOC. SLOC, like I mentioned, this was its 93rd season, and it started as a group. Etta Moore started it, and it was called Bellevue Youth Singers, I believe. It's on our website, so I'm going to give that a shout out again, sloctheater.org. And it was alumni from Van Couleer and another school, no. You're going to have to look on the website. I'm sorry, unless I look up my notes. I am not from this area originally, so I don't have some of those things in my memory. Let's see. I have heard of Van Couleer because that's where my husband went to middle school. Bellevue Young People's Chorus, Van Couleer, and Draper alumni made up that group. That started in 1926, and in 1936 they changed their name to Schenectady Light Opera Company. I feel like at times people think, oh, opera? No, opera's not really my thing. But light opera is a synonym of operetta, and an operetta was a move away from opera that included dialogue, lighter topics. Eventually it moved to some comedy, and it evolved into what we know today as musical theater. So we've mentioned some of the shows that have gone on here. I mean, there's so many. I think I mentioned Legally Blonde. This season we did Addams Family. We did Mary Poppins, I mentioned, and 9 to 5, which was unbelievably wonderful. I'm so impressed with what goes on here. We are so lucky to have this in downtown Schenectady, so close. We have a great arts community really all around here. And as we get outside, which I want to go this way, so sorry. I want to talk about the Schenectady Civic is across Erie Boulevard, a stone's throw from here. They do mostly straight plays, but once in a while they've done a musical. Okay, so we're back outside again. This building is also our building. And we have a tenant in this building, which is Northeast Ballet and Myers Ballet School. And they are, I think, known for two things. They're known for putting on the annual Nutcracker at Proctor's, and also known for being an amazing school for learning classical ballet technique. So right here we have like an arts incubator, and so much happens here. That's so much creative work, collaboration to put together performances and to promote the arts. It is really a lot. These buildings don't look like all that can come out of this does. It's a weird sentence, but anyway, it's pretty impressive. So I'm going to take you in the basement of this building here, which is what we call our Cabaret Room. And if you come to an opening night performance, you will be invited to a party here after the performance has ended. And it's a wonderful tradition that we have, and it's free of charge. And people come around here to see the cast after the show, after opening night. We have some opening night appreciation speeches. I knew this would be tricky trying to do it with one hand. I got it. All right. The other thing that you might come here for from this entrance is to come for an audition. As you can see, our signage, SLOC auditions. Looking at that sign, I get major butterflies in my stomach because auditions, I think, for everyone are a necessary evil. They're just really anxiety producing. But the more you do it, the little bit easier it gets. So this is what we call our Cabaret Room. It's set up right now for the rehearsals for Bright Star. We have the marking on the floor here for staging, so we knew when we were learning our blocking where we would be on the stage. But one of the nicest things about this is that we just got this new floor. And this floor is wonderful. Shout out to Gary Hoffman for persevering and seeing us through getting this flooring here. It used to just be concrete. And there's a subfloor here, and it's much better on our legs and knees, and it's in the midst of being painted. So please forgive, this is its new color, the blue, and that's the old color. So that's in transition, but again, this room is used for rehearsal because we do 5 productions a year, and there's an overlap when one production has moved into the theater, but the other one is starting to rehearse. So we start here, I don't know, about a month to 5 weeks or so. We rehearse here until we can move into the theater after the previous production has ended. So we start here for rehearsals. We do after show cabaret to here for singing. We have the opening night party. And it's a very, very useful space to have. Another space that can be rented out. All right, so I'm hoping people are showing me what shows you'd like to see in the future. And we're going to go back outside. So did I finish? I don't know if I finished talking about the history. So in 1936, they changed the name to Schenectady Light Opera Company. And they performed all different places. They performed at Niskayuna High School, one time at Burnt Hills High School. They performed at something called the Erie Theater that I think is on the corner of Erie Boulevard and State Street, that now was most recently called the State, and now it's just was near the Grog Shop and just used the marquee for people renting and putting messages up. They kind of bopped around. They also performed shows at Proctor's for a while. And then they had a place up on State Street where I think I saw my first show by SLOC, Victor Victoria. And then they moved here in 2010, and the first show was Drowsy Chaperone in this location. And I saw that show, loved it, thought, maybe I could try this even though it seems really close to the audience. As a new performer, that seemed intimidating to me. But as an audience member, I really do appreciate that. So I've pretty much showed you around. I hope you understand more about what Schenectady Light Opera Company is about. It's very much about putting on musicals, a community effort, involving youth, mentoring youth if they would be interested in it. We have a youth committee as a part of our leadership board, and our board, we're facing some difficult times right now. We just had to make our budget up for next year, not knowing pretty much anything. And so donations of, let's say, tickets you might have had for the future, that would always be appreciated. You can call and you can go to the website if you'd like for more information. We would certainly appreciate that. I would very much like to thank the Downtown Schenectady Improvement Corporation for this opportunity to help you to get to know SLOC. And I hope that someday in the future, when we have our shows on, our theaters open, it's safe to come, that when I'm house managing or if I'm on stage, I get to see you. If you've seen this video, let me know. That would be wonderful. So on behalf of the board of SLOC, I thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope we see you in the future. Bye-bye.